Hello, I'm your host, Jason Miles, here for another episode of Beyond the Red Zone, our very own show dedicated to in-depth coverage of sports. At least that's what we tell ourselves every time we do this show. For our returning listeners, subscribers, and of course, our very valued patrons, so glad to have you back. You are the driving force behind the TIR machine. We could not do this without you. For those new to the channel, welcome. If you do enjoy this type of programming, please hit like and subscribe. It is a passive gesture that does go a very long way towards promoting the channel. Also, for viewers of the main show, we will be back tomorrow talking about ultra-leftism and the negation of movements due to left-on-left infighting. It should be a good show. Look forward to seeing y'all in the chat. Also, shout out.
We coming for you.
Oops. To everybody that joined us yesterday to talk dinosaurs with Gertie Keller, our guest last night, who wrote an intriguing book about the myth about what really killed the dinosaurs. Also, she told us about her wildlife and the challenges she faced debunking the myth that asteroids killed the dinosaurs. That show is up now. Go check it out. For those watching the show on YouTube, we have a playlist with all of the main show live streams, as well as playlists for all of the different shows we do here on TIR. As you know, TIR is a listener-supported labor of love. If you dig what we do here and have the means, become a patron or a paid YouTube subscriber. You'll have access to the champagne rooms and be able to join us for our movie nights. We possibly could have one coming up this weekend. Movie night has also been a way for me to avoid doing big projects. I'd love to lie and say it's just about hanging out with you guys, but it is a way for me to run away from my responsibilities. But when you're a patron or paid YouTube subscriber, you get to join us for that. And you get the satisfaction of knowing that you are a part of making sure this insanity can continue. Now, on to the show. Before diving into the upcoming 2025 NFL season, I want to address the conversation swirling around one Arch Manning. In his season debut, Manning, touted as a Heisman Trophy frontrunner, faced a relentless Ohio State defense that dictated the game from start. Manning looked confused, constantly under pressure, and unable to find open receivers. But it wasn't just Manning. His coaching staff seemed out of answers for the Buckeyes' defensive looks. Critics have been quick to label him fool's gold or a Nepo baby and undeserving of the $6 million he's earned through NIL deals, claiming he's living off his last name. I reject that narrative. Football is the ultimate team sport. Individual talent can elevate a team, but even the most gifted quarterback needs a strong game plan, protection, and receivers who can win one-on-one matchups. On this day, Ohio State had the better plan. Manning rallied late, leading what looked like an epic comeback, but ultimately fell short. The loss belongs to the team, not one player. Writing off Manning's future over one rough outing isn't football analysis. It's gossip. Now, let me bring in my homie, who's also wearing his favorite NFL team's colors today for this NFL show. Please welcome Macadocious Rex.
Yeah, man. I am just like that. You know, Jason and I were talking before we came on, and you know, I said Manning, unless he throws for 4,000 yards, run for another 600, and scores 50 touchdowns, there's going to be a large population that calls him a bust, which I don't get. This was his first real start. This wasn't filling in for, you know, Quinn Ewers for a couple games last season against bad teams. Let's face it. I think one of the teams that they beat was UTSA. Oof. You know, it's just like, dude, that might have been Matt Patricia's best coaching job ever.
Yes.
You know, and, you know, he had the Buckeyes defense ready to go. I think Julian Sayin did what you'd want a sophomore quarterback to do, which was take care of the ball and not make mistakes.
Because he didn't light the world on fire either, and everybody's acting like he
Yeah.
fucking threw for 1,000 yards and lifted the team up. It was the defense.
Yeah, this was all a Buckeyes defensive win, right? And that's the thing with Ryan Day, and any Buckeyes fan or in that's watching. Hey, Drea, it takes like 3 games for the offense to get warmed up. I don't know what it is. And Red, you know what? Some of those throws were bad, and a lot of those were because he was under pressure.
Yes.
There's
one throw he had to make for like a critical first down, I believe it was, and he's got to throw it sidearm to get it like right where it needs to be.
Yeah.
It's a little behind the receiver. It's behind the receiver. Let's not give but catchable. Receiver doesn't catch it. And it's like Arch Manning can't get the ball where it needs to be. It's like, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just willing to give the kid a little room. I don't think he's going to be the next coming of Peyton Manning, and that's okay. Like he's been set up for failure, right? He's a Manning that lives in the internet age, right? Like Peyton didn't have to deal with this bullshit. It was like the hometown paper came out, and when he finally started being Peyton Manning at Tennessee, USA Today wrote some stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Typical shit. But I mean, this kid had cameras following him around his sophomore year of high school.
And Peyton Manning, if we were to look at it, me and Max said this off air, Peyton Manning, last I checked, never won the SEC.
Yeah.
We coming for you, nigga.
And I love Peyton Manning.
Yeah. He didn't win a national title, it's just
Virtuoso says, I like to believe Shador Sanders critics are lighting candles for Arch Manning. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Virtuoso. All the Catholic Shador fans are just like, they're at mass, just like, I'm gonna light this one for Arch. He really needs it right now.
I think Arch Manning and Shador Sanders have a very interesting symbiotic relationship, because as one is affected, the other one is learning what not to do. And I do believe in my soul that the Shador Sanders stiffing, that didn't sound right. Stiffing.
Yeah. the draft slide that the Dr. Pepper commercials are making fun of. The Fansville.
Yeah.
I mean, it's they have a skit in their commercial where one of the fans are like, and it's our favorite quarterback in like everybody's favorite offseason game, the draft slide. And they're like, wow, our quarterback's really following,
I really think, and I told you this, I wrote about this. I believe in my soul, part of the Shador finger pointing was, you Mannings aren't going to do what you did with Eli, because Peyton was a different beast.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at what Peyton had in front of him, it was either going to be the Colts or the Chargers, and both teams had some pieces. And I think his dad liked either ownership or coach. So they didn't need to do any maneuvering with him.
Yeah.
Whereas with Eli, it was a little different. Was he the consensus number 1 that year? I think he's the only one in that class that actually won the Super Bowl, though. Or did Drew Brees come out the same year? I forget.
I can't remember.
No, Drew Brees came out later, earlier.
But yeah, man. I mean, that's the thing. Peyton was coming into a league that was starting to kind of embrace the forward pass in a way that it hadn't been yet. Okay,
Roethlisberger was in the same class. Thank you, Connor.
Thank you, Connor. But like Eli, like at this point in the league, throwing the ball is the primary mover, right? Like you still have those dominant running backs, but they realized getting the ball downfield, scoring touchdowns gets fans excited, and then they go buy a jersey, and if they're in the stadium, they're going to pay $20 for a beer to celebrate. Rivers too, but he ain't win Nathan's hot dogs. Oh man. But the thing about the Manning situation was, you got to think, it was coming down to Indy or San Diego for Peyton. San Diego was the team that, took Eli, and Manning suddenly was like, I don't want my kid out there. Like,
yeah. And also, I think by the time Eli goes there is a lot of talk of the team leaving.
Yeah, but we all knew San Diego was going to end up in LA.
I still think San Diego's not done. I really believe you put this in my head. You. Yes.
Not me, man.
Yes, Mr. McGillicuddy. You put this in my head. You told me that the NFL wants to move into TJ, not Mexico City.
Yeah.
Because it actually is off of a interstate. And another thing that a lot of people don't understand, my president, Claudia Scheinbaum, has invested in several infrastructure projects, New Deal style infrastructure projects. And one of those is connecting the highway. So you don't have to get off and go through the streets, which, again, if you guys don't drive down here, you wouldn't know and or care. But that would make that connectivity to a place that already has a stadium and a parking infrastructure set up for a football stadium. That would be massive for this megalopolis that kind of is the Tijuana city.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know what it also has going for it besides all that stuff? It's at a lower point in elevation than Mexico City. When the NFL was doing the preseason games in Mexico City, and even like those odd regular
over a
season
mile
games,
high, yes,
the players complained massively.
It's over a mile high. It's like 7,200. As someone that's performed in Mexico City, way in the middle of nowhere in Mexico City, and nowhere goes higher and higher up, and yeah, no, it's nobody wants to do mile high twice to three times a season.
Yeah, I mean, so like you got to think, if you put a team in Mexico City, they're playing there some years 8, sometimes 9. Like, who the fuck wants to do that? Because you're gonna have to live in Mexico City year round just to stay acclimated to the altitude. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the president of General Motors Mexico lives in Mexico City. They increased his pay by 20% just so he can pay for armed security escort everywhere he goes.
Yeah. And that's not where I live.
Yeah.
I was walking around in these shorts today.
Everybody, they're the shortest of shorts. You saw the Beans and the Franks hanging out.
But one thing I do want to hit on before we move on to Belichick and then the NFL, because I don't want to spend too much time on this, is Ohio State's defense played a complete game. Mm-hmm. Ohio State's offense played a complete game. And let's not act like this kid didn't kind of figure it out and make some really great plays.
Yeah.
It's only 14-7 was the final.
Yeah. The end of the game, he's like, I'd honestly say probably the first 57 minutes he looked kind of lost, and in those last 3 or 4 minutes he turned it on, right? But the thing is right after winning a national championship, Ryan Day knows he's got to win Michigan, right? So he's like, "Fuck it, I will win 14-7. I will win 17-10. I don't need to score 50 points anymore. Let's just play a meaner, nastier game and be prepped for Michigan." Because, I mean, you guys know how I feel about the Big Ten commissioner saying, no, we definitely need to expand the playoff. That way the Big Ten can get like 7 to 8 teams in. No, I don't want 7 to 8 Big Ten teams in, because you know what's going to happen? Outside of like Penn State, Ohio State, and I'll throw Michigan in there, you have a lot of like mediocre teams. And watching them get smoked in the playoff is not how you say, this is why we're better than the SEC. Like it's not how you do that, bro. Like, and it's such a stupid idea that the SEC commissioner is even like, bro, Tony, hey man, put the bottle down. Stop drinking so much at these league meetings. Nick.
We have Nick McKittick says, still going to lose to Mish. Bye day. Okay. If you win a championship and lose to Michigan and you fire your coach for losing to Michigan, that is some next level stupid shit.
Well, it's almost like them releasing the odds on who the next Alabama coach is going to be one game into Kalen DeBoer's second season.
I mean, look, we can let's get to the NFL. Let's go back first. I want you to talk a little bit about Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick's move to college football was a very big deal.
I'm going to say this right now, Jason, before you even get into it.
Okay.
I think he's one and done in Chapel Hill.
We'll see.
He looked frustrated because by halftime, because I watched the whole fucking game. That first drive was a like Bill Belichick 03-04 Patriots drive. Running, grinding out yards, really quick throws. But their UNC starting quarterback is a dude named Gio Gonzalez, who after that opening drive, Jason, didn't complete a pass the rest of the game that he played.
Wow.
He went over 2 hours without a completion. He ended up getting hurt. And the starter from last year, a guy who had a leg break so bad they almost had to amputate his leg.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's Brad Johnson's kid.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Brad Johnson's two sons play at UNC. One's a tight end, the other one's the quarterback. But he had to come in, and he looked more comfortable than Gonzalez did. Gonzalez was a transfer from South Alabama. And I'm going to tell you right now, all offseason, Belichick saying, I turned over this roster. We're going to be the 33rd NFL team. This is how we're going to prepare. Those kids did not look prepared. They did not look like they gelled as a team, especially up front on offense. Dude, TCU bullied their entire offensive line the whole game. And, dude, when I mean bullied, like their tackles were beat almost every play.
Damn, Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl.
God damn.
Fuck, man. He played like 15 years. Jesus.
Man, that
is a vicious.
Yeah.
Oof.
And now Claus letting the fucking QB from TCU have it. Jesus, man.
Jeez.
Claus just like, you know what? Fuck quarterbacks. Fuck them all.
Basically.
If they're not Sammy Ball, then I don't want to.
They're not slinging Sammy. I don't give a shit about these newfangled forward passers. Okay,
he suddenly becomes you when you hear the name Doug Williams.
My God, I can't stand these brown ass quarterbacks. Kind of, is he black? Is he Mexican? What is he? He's a jigaboo. That's all he is. Get him out of here.
Bringing that white boy with one leg.
Bringing that pristine white man. My God. Hey, Chef, what's going on? I'm seeing some new faces in the chat, and that's always a pleasure. That lets me and Mac know that maybe people are tuning into this, and it makes me want to be a little more serious. So I've went through every team and division, and I would like to start with the AFC West. I feel that the AFC West, and it could just be because I'm a Denver Bronco fan. I'm sure a lot of it has to do with me being a Denver Bronco fan, but it is a very intriguing division. You have the second year of Bo Nix and Sean Payton. It does seem like Sean Payton actually has not just his guy at the helm, but his team looking like the way he wants his team to look. The defense looks faster and a little stronger at the linebacker position. The Dre Greenlaw, and Tua Fonga. Am I saying his name right? From the Niners.
Yeah, the thing is, that's what happens when like the 20-year-old players that you had last year get a whole season of the strength and conditioning program.
I mean, I think they were the youngest team in the league.
They were the baby Broncos. And they went out and played they were
very well.
Like what I loved is like the Pat Surtain, who won like Defensive Player of the Year last year, was like everybody just shit on us, so we were like, let's just go out and play football. And at worst, we're gonna end up with what the people thought we were, which was a young team that's gonna make a lot of mistakes, or we just play the way we know how we could play. And I think they did phenomenal. And when you have a good defense like that, it makes life on a young quarterback a lot better, because that young quarterback doesn't have to press. He doesn't have to he doesn't go into a game dead ass. Like I have to score 40 points for us to win.
Yeah.
You know, like Joe Burrow has to every single game.
And he doesn't have the weight of the world on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Like some of these guys do. So the second year for the Broncos looks interesting to me. Justin Herbert, a guy that has been filled with potential and actually kind of a very exciting player to watch, in my opinion, finally has the quote unquote quarterback guru, Jim Harbaugh, working with him. Can the Chargers look like something they've never looked like since I've been watching football, which is and they've had some quote unquote tough coaches, tough on both sides of the ball. And that's saying a lot because the Chargers have had some legendary players.
Yeah.
Junior Seau comes to mind. Not Darren Woodson. Who was the safety they had that went to the
Darren Woodson.
Yeah.
You had Rodney Harrison.
Harrison, that's what I'm thinking of.
Harrison, and he won a couple Super Bowls with the Pats. You had LaDainian Tomlinson was,
they had some tough players, but to look like a Harbaugh team on both sides of the ball, we'll see. This is again Harbaugh's second season as well, and also we have the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm always going to call them the Oakland Raiders, even though I hate the fucking Raiders. The Raiders look like they could be an interesting team. I think a lot of people want to write Geno Smith off.
I don't want to write him off.
I don't.
But here's what I'm going to tell you: he's not winning you a Super Bowl.
Sure.
Right. The Raiders, I think, fucked up because they're the best receiver they have on the roster just asked to leave. You still have an okay defense. I think the Raiders are going to finish dead last in that division. I think the talent there just isn't enough to overcome San Diego or the LA Chargers right now.
I'm calling them San Diego. Fuck it.
But like I really think it's Kansas City wins that division. Broncos are a couple games behind, make it as a wild card. Yeah, I mean, he's competent, Claw. I get that. But here's the thing. Competence, what competent QB play gets you? The Pittsburgh Steelers. The perfect, just above 500 team. And you have nothing to show for it except amazing job security. Right? Like, I mean, that's what competent QB play gets you, right? At this point, if you are trying to actually win playoff games and be competitive in the playoffs and try and get to a Super Bowl, competent QB play is not how you do it. You got to have a guy who can run your offense front to back, whether he's having a good day or a bad day, right? That's why, I mean, let's face it, that's why the Rams went out and traded for Matt Stafford. They were like, we weren't getting that kind of play from Jared Goff, right? It took Goff going to Detroit and just having a coach that believed in him for him to become that guy. But Stafford, you could put a million different playbooks in front of him. He's going to figure them all out, be able to run it front to back, right? I'm not saying Geno Smith can't do that, right? There's a reason he's been in the league as long as he has. Everybody wants to shit on a quarterback who's been like a backup for like 10 years, but guess what? He's still getting paid, bro. He's still there.
Did I see the video of Josh Johnson?
Yeah, exactly.
Oakland native Josh Johnson, who he's played for 11 teams,
Dude,
a couple of them 3 times.
Yeah, Josh Johnson, Josh Dobbs, right?
Josh Dobbs is another guy, yeah.
Right? There's a reason that they're still in the league because teams know that they can trust them, right? But you're not going deep in a playoff run with Josh Johnson. It's not a knock against him. He's just not that guy. He's a dude that can go out there and play a game or two for you till your starter's back up and running, right? He can run a scout team like nobody's business and get your defense prepped for, Sundays. But, it's
he's going to be an excellent coach.
Yeah.
He's going to be an excellent coach.
He'll probably be on Harbaugh's staff. Let's be honest. That's where he got his
Josh Johnson is going to be that guy that becomes the next quarterback guru, and then give him a couple years and he'll be one of those 39-year-old head coaches that everybody's
or
pay for.
Or he ends up like that fuckstick out of Texas Tech,
Kingsbury,
who made a much better coordinator than he ever made a head coach.
Well, you know who else isn't trying to get a head coaching job? Ken Dorsey.
Mm-hmm.
But look, let's not get it.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is still redefining the quarterback position and Andy Reid's offensive genius. The Chiefs are poised to contend for another Super Bowl. The Los Angeles Chargers, Jim Harbaugh enters his second season, and Justin Herbert looks ready to make the leap into elite status. The team has playoff potential written all over it. Las Vegas Raiders veteran coach Pete Carroll takes over. Geno Smith returns to work under Carroll, and rookie sensation Ashton Genty adds juice to the offense. A fresh era is underway in Vegas. And lastly, the Denver Broncos, Sean Payton and Bo Nix, look to build upon a promising first season together. If Nix is truly Breeze 2.0, Denver could surprise. So who comes out of the AFC West?
Kansas City. Like until somebody knocks them off, it's Kansas City. But Denver definitely I think is picking up a wild card this year. You want to talk to me about the Raiders? Okay, let's talk about their offensive line. Genty is a phenomenal talent. I see a lot of 2 to 3 yard carries in his career in his rookie year because that offensive line is trash, so it's my nightlight, Drea. Okay. It helps keep the bad people away from me.
Drea says, I never realized Mac had a magical light in his corner. I'd have thought that was just for the ladies.
No, it's an astronaut. It's got like novas and solar systems in it. So
let's talk a little AFC East.
Okay, the East. Dead last, Patriots.
Wait a minute. This is still Buffalo's division. Josh Allen remains the centerpiece of an offense capable of winning it all. Buffalo is the team to beat in the East. The New England Patriots. Under Mike Vrabel, the Patriots are clawing their way back to contention and could snag a wild card berth. The Miami Dolphins, explosive but inconsistent. They'll need Tua to be healthy and be productive to stay in the mix. The New York Jets, the Aaron Rodgers era is over. It's playoff or bust in New York.
Which I don't get it. Because here's the thing. What franchise outside of Cleveland has been a quarterback graveyard? It's the Jets, Jets. Okay? Thank you, Newry. You're so nice. But like we can sit here and talk about the Vrabel effect on the Pats. They'll be a better team. They're not getting to the playoffs this year, and that's okay.
You're not drinking the Drake May Kool-Aid.
I think maybe we finally have a quarterback to replace Brady.
Do you think you have a battery though? Do you think you have a quarterback receiver, duo, but do you have a receiver core?
We don't have any receivers. None. I mean, Stephon Diggs, if he can be healthy and kind of get back to 80% of what he was, I'll take that all day. Right. I think the Trevion Henderson pick was great. He's probably going to be the starter because Ramondre Stevenson has a lot of fumble issues, but the offensive line's not good because Bill Belichick left that cupboard threadbare. By the time he was ousted. The defense is average at best outside of Christian Gonzalez. It's just that this is the worst team in the division, just from a talent standpoint. Belichick really thought that he could take 5th and 6th round picks and make them in the stars the way he did, almost 20 years prior. Dude, this is a league where you cannot miss on your first 3 draft picks. You can't do it. The first 3 rounds are very important to have players you can plug in and play almost immediately with minimal coaching, right? And Belichick, let's count all the picks he missed in the first round. The guy that just got released, Cole Strange, there's one. Does Lawrence Maroney ring a bell?
Oof.
Okay, there's that one. N'Keal Harry.
I really thought he was going to be something because he was so good at Arizona State.
He was bigger than everybody, dude. Like,
he's still a big dude in the NFL.
No,
he wasn't like 5'8", and then he goes to the NFL. It's like, oh wow, these guys are.
He was playing a Pac-12 defensive backfield
that usually has a lot of NFL players in it.
That usually, in LA, yes, they do.
No, Oregon.
Oh, dude,
Patrick Chung.
was a safety.
Patrick Chung played safety.
Was a safety, and he played close to the line of scrimmage. He was more of a run stopper than a.
Wow.
I watched him for a lot of years in New England.
That's what I'm saying. I'm pointing out all these.
All right, but I mean, dude, he towered over Pac-12 defensive backs when he was in school. He gets in the NFL. These guys are maybe not as big as him, but much bigger and faster. And he was not what you would call a burner, so.
Why did he not get a second chance?
He did. When New England cut him, he ended up in Chicago and he didn't do shit.
I mean, that's like saying he ended up in Siberia and then it got cold and he lost a foot.
That's he might have lost.
He literally lost a foot to the frostbite of Chicago quarterbacking.
Yeah, but like it's New England, like they just didn't. You definitely should, Dre. Go Wayne Chung tonight.
I hope everybody has a Patrick Chung instead of Wayne Chung stuck in their head.
But it's this division. I think is only putting out one playoff team, and that's going to be Buffalo. Miami, I think they can be explosive against the teams they're supposed to be explosive against, and then can't beat the teams that are going to be rough to play, right? And they've shown that over the last few years. Mike McDonald
still a problem.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Mike McDonald could look like a drug dealer.
He does.
But he's about as tough as like a 6-year-old. Okay, like he doesn't look like he's making a team that could play those tough games and win them. Now with the Jets, I'm hoping Justin Fields actually turns this into an audition to where he kills it and then gets that long-term contract. I think him linking up with Garrett Wilson again is going to be good. And, the Jets always have, defensive pieces, but, no one's been able to put that together over the last few years, man. Like, I don't know. I think it's going to go Buffalo, Miami, the Jets, and the Pats.
But if he is successful in New York, he is still young enough where you have first round talent because he's 24, 25?
Yeah, 24, 25.
That's the age of the rookies coming out right now, these super seniors.
Mm-hmm.
So you basically have a rookie quarterback. He's got a little bit of wear on him, but I would love to see Justin Fields put it together and have a good career somewhere because I think there's talent there. We just never knew what we had with him in Chicago.
Yeah.
They were so quick to jettison him after a season where he showed so much promise.
Yeah. And honestly, I think the offensive coordinators need to tailor their system to him.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, what I mean when I say that is there has to be some quarterback runs in it. Yeah. Like run a lot of RPO. And like not just like he makes the call to throw it or run it, but run RPOs where he, option shit, where he either pulls it or hands it off to the running back, right? Use the tools that you have. I'm not saying do it like you do in college, mm-hmm. where the quarterback can end up doing that like 20, 25 times a game. But maybe 10, 15 times, right? Like, keep the defense playing off their back foot, expecting that run because, we saw what Terrell Pryor did in his short stint in the NFL, and Fields is a better athlete overall than Terrell Pryor was.
It's saying a lot because Terrell Pryor went on to be a pretty successful wide receiver.
Yeah, until he shot himself in the foot. I mean, he should have just stayed in Cleveland, took that money. But, he wanted to parlay it into a bigger payday, and then nobody else knew how to use him. And that kind of derailed his entire career. So, but that's how I see the East unfolding in the AFC. It's not deep. It's not particularly good. So I only see like one playoff team coming out of it.
Well, let's look at the AFC South. We have the youth movement with the Tennessee Titans. Rookie quarterback Cam Ward headlines a franchise reset with new leadership on the sidelines. This season is about growth. The Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson are fighting to reclaim momentum after a disappointing finish last year. The Houston Texans, CJ Stroud has turned heads early in his career, and the Texans could take the next step if their defense holds up. The Indianapolis Colts, Anthony Richardson. Is he done? Is he not done? I don't know. Are the Colts a surprise? Can Daniel Jones, another guy that's about 24, 25 years old, can he reclaim the first round talent that we all thought he was early on in his career?
I mean, this is probably the worst division in the AFC, right?
We got it for you, nigga.
Damn.
I mean, that's kind of mean. I get it, but let's just call it what it is, right? Like the Titans are going to be trash this year, and that's to be expected. They did a roster teardown. You're going in with a rookie, at QB, who's going to do rookie QB shit, right? Like he's going to make those mistakes. But I think Tennessee's in good hands there because Cam Ward isn't a guy that's going to sit there and dwell on interceptions and shit like that. He's just not that dude, right? He showed it in his 3 collegiate stops. He is, I think this is a good quarterback for where they're at in their franchise, lifespan right now, right? Indy is going to be bad, I think. How bad, I don't really know. They still have Jonathan Taylor, who, when healthy, is one of the best running backs in the NFL.
Michael Pittman Jr. is one of my favorite wide receivers.
Yeah, I love him playing out of the slot. I think that's great. But the thing is, you have to have a quarterback that can get him the ball. Anthony Richardson, he's shown that he can't get anybody the football. The dude's completion percentage, I think, is 48%.
Sounds about right.
That's not good, by any metric.
Nope.
Unless you're playing baseball and you're hitting. Then that's phenomenal.
Then he's killing it.
Yes. But Daniel Dimes, dude, I don't know, man. Indy went into the draft where they took Richardson knowing we need a quarterback, and they reached real bad.
Yeah.
And then, Richardson would have been better off doing the Steve McNair. Literally sitting for 2 or 3 years before he got his chance to start. Right? Because Richardson, when he's on the field, doesn't look comfortable. Doesn't look like he has complete understanding of the playbook. He doesn't look like he knows how to read a defense. Right? That's a big issue for a lot of young quarterbacks because the read is actually done by either your position coach or the offensive coordinator for you. And it gets relayed down into your helmet, before I think the clock hits 20, right? And then they shut off the communications. But and that's an important thing because let's face it, a lot of these college coaches have been doing it for fucking ever. They can just look out on the field and read it right there, right? And the whole point of winning, playing in college is to win football games. So fuck yeah, me as a coach, I'll do that. In the NFL, you can't, right? You have to be able to get on the field, diagnose the scheme that you're going to be going up against, and make the correct call at the line of scrimmage, right? No one's making that call for you. And Richardson didn't look like he had picked that up, right? And you and I have both said it. We want these kids to be successful. I don't wish failure on any of them. But with that being said, we might be talking about an official first round bust. I don't know what it's going to take to maybe help Richardson get, to take those physical tools that he does have and get them honed in on becoming a really good NFL quarterback. I don't know what that is.
Well, I don't know if you agree with this. It feels to me that it's harder to be a success because so many people want to go with the bust narrative, i.e. Arch Manning.
Yeah.
The kid played a game against a very tough opening game, I might add. And to me, I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater for a 14-7 game.
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. But for me, we're looking at multiple seasons of Richardson, one, not being able to finish a season, which is the most important thing for a quarterback, right? Two, you remember last season, the big thing was he just kept taking himself out of games because he was tired.
That still is the funniest shit ever.
Right? Like, I'm not feeling a coach. You mind pulling me for a
The
second?
50-yard run and tapping out. Yeah.
Let Gardner come in for a few plays, please.
Like you're not running a 2-quarterback scheme here, brother.
Yeah. Like I don't know, man. Like I just when you swing and miss on a first round quarterback, it sets your franchise back for years. Like that's just the name of the game now.
But do you think people are I'd hate to sound like the old guy yelling at trains. There is something to be said about going, well, these are part of the bumps of a person learning the position. And there's going to be a learning curve, and it's going to take a few years, maybe 3 to 5. And now it's like, well, you have 3 to 5 minutes in the first quarter to understand every nuance of the game, because there's always a rookie sensation, right? There's always a
well, I mean, you think about it this way.
Jaden Daniels, yeah.
For years, what were the sports that had the quickest hook for the coaches? Basketball and hockey. Mm-hmm. You have some guys that get hired, they do the off season, they make it 2 weeks, they're fired. Right? Mm-hmm. Quick hooks. And it's just part of the game. Like it's something we all expect. Right? Like when the who was it? What basketball team last year? The Nuggets, when they fired their head coach going into the playoffs. Like we were all like, what the fuck? But then we're just like, yeah, it's basketball. This shit happens, In the NFL, it wasn't like that. Coaches typically got those 3 to 5 years. Now, not anymore. No,
you also have 3 to 5 minutes to prove that you're the greatest coach since Lombardi to be on the sideline.
And usually when you look at a lot of these guys getting shit canned after a year or two, they're on some of the worst teams. So it's the same teams making these mistakes over and over and over again with bad coaching picks, right? Fucking Arizona, that they were case in point for years.
Yeah.
The fucking Patriots before Belichick got there.
Yeah.
Just
people forget about the 1-16 Patriots.
The
Scott Zolak years. Yeah.
Went through coaches.
Yeah.
So like NFL coaches now, just they know I might only get 2 years. I got to put my stamp on everything now. I got to make ownership happy. And then, look, Newry just said Eric Ten Hag was fired after 2 games with a German soccer club. I mean,
again, these are team sports we're talking about here. And sometimes the team fails, and sometimes the other team is that good.
Yeah. And like when the coaches are feeling the heat, now it's like, I have to get the young QB that's ready to plug and play now. And I could put up with the rookie mistakes, like maybe a bad read, higher than normal interceptions. But if he can keep us competitive, then I'm in good shape. Me, the coach, and my staff, we're in good shape. And we can build off that into season 2. But if you miss on it, that young, quarterback in year 1, fuck, bro.
The media machine won't let it handle. And look, we're going to get into this when we talk about the NFC. But case in point for the NFL is Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
I heard on my incredibly insane amount of hours in my car, I think it was 28 this time, from the Mexico to the Bay and back. So many sports pundits saying Caleb Williams is on the verge of being a bust. One person said when I was driving up last month, if Caleb Williams didn't have a good preseason game, or a few weeks ago, if he didn't have a good preseason game, then he was over.
Wow.
That's how insane sports punditry is. And we have to be honest here.
Caleb Williams is starting his 2nd season, and he's on his 3rd offensive coordinator already.
A few people have mentioned the truth, but I think a lot of this conversation around these guys being busts in 5 minutes in the league has to do with sports betting.
Yeah. You just have to be pragmatic, especially as fans. Like, we love our teams, but I appreciate the fan more that's like, my team is dog shit. Like me, the Guardians have decided baseball, you have to hit. What? You know? And I'm like, this is Cleveland. And, you know, I just go into there's always next year. Pats fan, we are going to be boo-boo. Maybe not raw boo-boo, but boo-boo.
Whole house smell
Right?
like raw boo-boo.
It's not going to be pretty. Like the only saving grace for me in this calendar year is going to be the Cavs. So, you know, I just don't understand, like the really emotional shit like that, where because I threw down $300 on Caleb Williams to throw 3 touchdowns against the Lions last year, and I lost $300. You know, he's absolute horse shit. No, that's a dude who's went through way too many coaches already. It's just like the same people that shit talk Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
You know, he went through 5 OCs in Cleveland. And it's hard to get your bearings when you're constantly having to learn a new system every single year.
We also like our new shit, Mac. Let's be honest. It's like dating apps. You can meet Miss Right, but it's like, what is Miss Right around the corner look like?
Yeah.
How big is her butt?
Is it a rounded butt, or is it
long and strong? Do your titties hang low? If they don't, you gotta go.
Oh man.
All right, the AFC North, the Baltimore Ravens, ESPN's preseason #1 team, led by Lamar Jackson, remains one of the NFL's most complete squads. The Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow's health is everything. If he's back to form, they are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. The Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin's teams never bottom out. Expect them to scrap for a playoff spot. The Cleveland Browns, talent isn't the issue. Quarterback play is. I disagree with myself. I think talent is the issue. Mac, the AFC North, Baltimore Ravens.
Like I still haven't figured out why that team hasn't gotten over the hump and won a Super Bowl, man. With the talent on that team, and then you plug in Derrick Henry, who was just a few yards shy of 2,000 last year. You know, at the age when a running back's supposed to just kind of do a dead stop.
He's playing better than forever.
Dude, he is phenomenal. I love Derrick Henry. I don't understand how a man his size moves as quickly as he does. Like, he defies physics. Maybe we should get Neil deGrasse Tyson to come on and explain how he's able to hit terminal velocity at 240 pounds and 6'3".
Can you imagine Neil deGrasse Tyson saying some insane shit like, what Derrick Henry has is not genetic, it's just niggardry. And you just you're like, what was that?
You and I are just sitting here like this, and he's like, I thought this was that kind of show.
He's got like a chart with like the string, like that episode of Always Sunny, of all the different points of niggardry that fucking Derrick Henry hits to be the best running back I've ever seen at playing like that at that size. We always see big running backs be worn down because of the amount of carries. We are living in a different age of athlete, whether these guys are quote unquote enhanced or not. They're taking insane care of their bodies because this is the age of yourself as brand.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and let's face it, you know what helps him immensely? Having Lamar Jackson there.
Oof.
They ran options where, okay, like, can you imagine being the middle linebacker that has to read this, Jason? Like, he's 5 yards back, and he's like, okay, locked on to Lamar. Oh, shit, Lamar's got it in the pocket. So one of two things is going to happen to said linebacker. He's going to step up in the hole and get trucked by Derrick Henry before he hits like 20 miles per hour and skips off for 25 yards. Or Lamar Jackson makes him break both ankles and probably his kneecaps by juking him and then ripping off 17 to 18 yards. You know, like, it's just...
And can we add Lamar Jackson's not a little man?
No, right? So, you know, and the thing is they've gotten better with giving, you know, Lamar some actual targets to throw to.
Yeah.
I still think that's the weak point of the offense is the wide receiver core. They got a phenomenal tight end. And then their defense is Baltimore's defense as it has been since, the team moved there. So it's like, how have they not won another Super Bowl? But this is the North is definitely Baltimore. We can talk about Cincy all day, but here's the bottom line. Their first round pick isn't signing right now. He refuses to sign his contract. They got Trey Hendrickson to come back just for one more year. He's guaranteed to be a free agent next year. This is a franchise that was like, okay, after all the years of mediocrity with Marvin Harrison, we've gotten a chance to draft these like superstars on offense, and they're going to live and die with it because that's all they have, right? Joe Burrow goes into every game like, fuck, guys, I think he looks at like Jamar Chase and he's like, bro, we're going to have to put up 40 today.
Yeah.
And Jamar's just doing this, dude, nodding along like, yeah, no shit. But like they'll probably end up second. If Burrow can stay healthy, if Chase stays healthy, if T. Higgins stays healthy, right? Essentially the Bengals' success hinges on that offense playing in 16 out of the 17 games, right? Like completely healthy, which we all know doesn't happen very often. Then you got Pittsburgh, who is now the Cincinnati Bengals of like the mid 2000s, where 10-6, or now 10-7, 9-8. That's our sweet spot. We don't need to do any more than that. It's good. But again, last year, what did they do? Found another one of these low draft pick running backs that just fucking blew the doors off folks. I don't know how you look at Aaron Rodgers last year and then think, this is our guy. This is our guy to be our quarterback. Dude, Dog Red, I don't even think that's spiritually. I think he just shows up to Paul Brown Stadium like, and he's got like a glass of scotch in his hand, just like, fuck me, dude. Ugh, burns so good. Assistant, here, grab the cigarette. You finish.
Assistant. Hey, this to me. So I was looking for this video that I sent Mac, and by the way, I bombarded Mac with so many. Can you guys see my screen right now? Can you see the screen?
Oh yeah.
Okay, sorry, I didn't want to show that picture. I said. What? I'm so sorry.
Yeah. This is what I get in between like 10-minute breaks at work.
Somebody said quality. I sent Max so many of these, and I haven't even been setting him up with like a little
no,
I usually do. It's just been quality.
Yeah.
Dr. Claus says Manosphere Miles has joined the group.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I wanted to show Mac was this video I found of what I think is the white Derrick Henry.
That's bonkers, man. Like he broke the soul of the first two kids, and the rest of the team was like, nah, he can have this one. He can have this one. Yeah, dude, that's
Mac. Connor says it's just disrespectful.
Dude, it is, Connor.
I don't know where this is.
Technically, why didn't the refs throw a flag? Because the runner did lead with his helmet.
Look at this. Bitch, even his own player, hoe ass, bitch ass. Nobody.
And then he just jumps over a dude.
Dude. What? league is this, dude?
That's probably like Kansas high school football.
He did look like a grown-ass man.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So just real quick, you guys can see look at what Mac is getting. Look at the quality.
So many women. There's so many. And then I get like a weird, it'll be like two beautiful women in like a weird video. Like that's
like somebody getting knocked out for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? Like, what is this? I don't even know what this is.
Because right now, this is the crazy part. Now let me talk. This is the problem. Now you're pissing me off.
I feel like this is what you do when you work at the bar. I feel like you kindly whisper into the ear of a nerd like that.
Yeah. Like, dude, come on, man. Working with bouncers like that used to make me so mad because it's like, you don't have, dude, stop acting tough. That's why we're here. You know, like people already are hesitant to fuck with us. So like, why you got to shit talk the guy who only weighs like 90 pounds soaking wet and all he had was like a fucking, like a cranberry and vodka and a shot of like Rumple Mints or something, you know, like you don't threaten that guy.
He's like, you're starting to piss me off. I was like, this is so you when you're working at the bar.
Oh, dude, no, I would just be like, hey, man, like I didn't whisper. I tell everybody, like when I was deployed, like I rarely used my radio in firefights. I was the loudest guy in the battle space. You can hear me. So like I could yell and like point at some dude and he'd know it was him. He'd be like, fuck, you know, and just I'm busted. But girl all caked up.
Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah, we got to get through the divisions, man.
Back to
I'm running on fumes, bro.
Dr. Claus like, well, all right.
Yeah.
How do we get some of these memes, Jay? How do we get on your fucking meme list?
Just start like a fucking Beyond the Red Zone fucking group chat and just cheeks.
I'm so terrified to do that because in between all the cool shit, there's so much weird shit.
Yeah.
That's how I got the football thing. I thought the football thing was fun. Someone said Pascal has entered the show. Oh shit. The Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to talk about what's going on with Shedeur Sanders and the depth chart. Colin Cowherd has made this his whole shtick for a minute.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Shedeur might be a little hurt.
I mean, he got dinged up a bit. Playing behind a Cleveland offensive line at any point in the depth chart is always like a risk. You know, where it went from being a really big strength during Stefanski's first couple of years, it's fallen off quite a bit. You know, Judy was kind of a revelation his first year in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. This is just me talking. Joe Flacco hasn't played a 16-game season in over a decade. What makes you think that he's going to be able to put things together this year? Like, it was a feel-good thing when he came off the couch, got the Browns into the playoffs, you know, or you know, and had those phenomenal games. But, dude, this is a 17-game season now, man. Like, bro, you know, one of those two rookies is going to end up starting. It's, you know, either Gabriel or Sanders. I don't understand how Dylan Gabriel beat Shedeur. I think they both had some good stretches, but for the most part, they were pretty equal. When you're going like to you know, place them on the depth chart. But like for me, right, that stadium's right on the lake. You have to have an arm to throw in the wind to be able to deal with the lake effect wind. Claw, back me up here. You fucking know it. Gabriel doesn't have a strong arm, dude, like at all.
Mm-mm.
So what's going to happen come December in the middle of one of those lovely Cleveland snowstorms? Jesus Christ, Jason.
Keep Keep going. You're on a roll, dude. You're killing it, right?
But Gabriel goes into one of those winter squalls and just sees the wind take that flutter ball that he throws, and push it out of bounds. The thing is, it's like I can't believe Tim Kim. Wow, Trey. The Browns. I'm with you. I don't think they have the talent level. What they're doing is wasting the prime years of Myles Garrett. Jeez, Jason Miles.
This is
that is somebody's Nana. Jason Miles.
She's fucking awesome. Can you bake? Kushla goes on the phone, but what the fuck?
Yeah. But the thing is with the AFC North, you're probably, you're definitely going to get Baltimore. You're probably going to get Cincy if that offense can just keep clicking. Yeah, Claw, I'm with you. If Gabriel gets put in as a rookie against the Ravens defense, in the words of my son, it's game over. They'll eat him alive, but I can see the North getting 2 playoff teams. The Steelers might push for 1. Maybe Aaron Rodgers taps the fountain of youth and develops a good rapport with DK Metcalf. The Warren kid picks up where he left off last season. The Steelers always have a pretty competitive defense. It's always pretty stout. Maybe Tomlin put some shit together this year. But the Browns, that's just like my Pats, dead last, and they have a lot of work to do. I mean, you've seen what the Browns are doing now, right? They traded a buttload of picks for the alleged sex pest, right? And everybody, we have to use alleged because Jason and I can't afford to get sued. But they've traded a lot of pieces away to kind of restock the draft, cupboard going into next season. So they have multiple first round picks next year and a year after, and then quite a few second rounders, quite a few third rounders. So it looks like, they may just end up rolling the dice on we're going to suck this year, but look at what we can kind of make up for in the coming years by drafting better players to plug in that are ready to go.
Mac is refusing to look on the screen.
No, Jason, I've seen it, but see, I'm a professional. Okay. I mean, occasionally I get paid for my work by a publication. You'll throw me some pesos every so often, which I appreciate. Mm-hmm. But you got to know when. You got to play hurt. You got to push because the tough times. And that's what I do, man. That's what I do.
The comments. Mac, when we started this before these photos, I just want you to know there were 30 people watching. It's over 100 now.
Well, you know what? Everybody,
this is a new remake.
Them some long boobaloobs. Nice.
Virtuoso says, what does this picture have to do with splitting the Eagles' defense? Well, I would assume this picture explains the split.
Yeah. That's what offensive coordinators go into Philly. They go the Cincinnati Bengals. That is true, Claw. That is the Bengals defense. Just splayed awkwardly apart to allow the running back to average 7 yards a carry.
Red says this man has been to war. He cannot be distracted by all that
ass. Yep.
You got to do the John Madden yellow chalk on the screen. Boom.
Boom. He got the telestrator. He's like, you see how the holes developed right there? How the defense is split? Derrick Henry hits that hole and boom.
Wait. Just
The tush push. Nice, Nick. Nice. Dude, if you get that ass in front of Jalen Hurts, he's unstoppable. It's just he's scoring every time.
Tony Red says, back to my point, football has changed a lot since when I was a kid.
Yeah. Tony,
This is
that's
what
the
Fox
long
Sports-
snapper for the Browns. That's who that is.
This is what Fox Sports wanted to do. Remember back in the day, we're like, we're going to get Jillian Barbary here.
Yeah.
She's a hot tamale.
Leanne
We'll have her read the weather. This is really how they want them to read the weather. This is what they want.
Yeah, can you imagine like she goes into her first production meeting and they just hand her like some like frilly lingerie with like nipple covers and they're like, yeah, you're gonna be on the sideline talking about the weather and that. And she's just like, what the fuck?
Matt's like, where's Jason getting these images? Dude, you know what's funny?
Matthew, you do not want to know.
You don't want to know. It's from a dark source, Matthew.
Yeah, Jason has looked up so much fucked up shit on the internet that his algorithm just continuously spits it out to him at this point. So New Read, no.
What did New Read say?
So would they CGI the fun lips reading the weather?
I think they would hand her that outfit and be like, oh, you're fine. You don't need to take it to wardrobe. You're fine. These are men watching this show, man. We don't care.
Yeah, they're gonna like this. Don't worry about it. Like the woman executive's like, guys, this is not. Listen, shouldn't you be like taking notes? I'm actually your boss. Oh shit, when did that happen?
When they let those people have jobs? Somebody said my algorithm is the Epstein files. Oh my god. If you're listening to this show later, you kind of have to go back and watch it. Because as Mac was giving you great division by division, team by team analysis, I have been putting up some of the photos that I send him on a daily basis.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to push through it. Does Derrick Henry stop after getting the first hit? No. He blows right through that and picks up positive yards. You don't hit Derrick Henry in the backfield. No, sir.
No.
Just like you won't get me in the backfield.
Oh, no. No. But let's get back here. The NFC. Let's get to the NFC.
Okay.
We've only been an hour. I shouldn't say only. An hour is long. I only have so much space that I can use on this platform. Rams to top. Los Angeles Rams, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Sean McVay are locked in as LA looks to be maybe the Super Bowl favorite. The San Francisco 49ers, significant roster turnover. New leadership on defense make this a transitional year, but do we count them out? The Seattle Seahawks, Mike McDonald is rebuilding a tough, disciplined team that could quietly make some waves. I actually think our boy Sam is going to shine in Seattle. The Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray is healthy. This is a rebuilding season. Is this a make or break season for Murray?
Okay. I think the Rams win this division, but I think San Francisco gets a wild card out of it. Now, with Kyle Shanahan, I don't think you can ever count the Niners out if they have players that are healthy. Last year, they lost like 1 million fucking, man days of labor due to injuries. I know that's not the proper terminology and not the proper number, but it seemed like everybody that was somebody on that team, offense, defense, special teams, got hurt at one point.
Sure.
Right. Christian McCaffrey, we all know he's a game changer. If they can keep him on the field, that in itself is going to help out. Ricky Pearson's going to have to step up quite a bit. Remember, he was the rookie that got shot going into the season last year.
That is still crazy, dude.
He's going to have to step up to replace some of the production lost with Ayuk moving out to was it Debo?
Debo.
Yeah, with Debo moving out to Washington.
Yeah.
So like some of these younger players are going to have to step up. The running back that filled in very well for McCaffrey when he was out last year before his own injury is coming back. Like maybe you have McCaffrey off the field, for 10 more plays than usual and put this other dude in. Like, make sure you're getting a good rotation and keep McCaffrey fresh. Robert Salay's back running the defense, and we all know he can run a defense. Can't do, he can't run a team, but he can run a defense. But, the Rams are set up, man. Cooper Kupp is in Seattle now. Puka is going to essentially be wide receiver 1. They draft really well for the picks that they can't, that they keep, because they send a lot of picks out to bring in names, which you kind of have to do in LA to stay, relevant compared to the Lakers. But, if Stafford is healthy, which, I mean, with your back, as someone who's had a few back problems, quite a few actually, it's day to day. Like, his wife can poke him in the ribs and he kind of just jumps, and then next thing you know, he's in traction for a week. Like, that shit happens. But I definitely think the Rams will win this division, with San Francisco coming in second and getting a wild card. Now, when you talk about the Seahawks, they're kind of doing the Legion of Boom 2.0.
Yeah.
They bring in Kupp to have somebody for Howell to throw to. Maybe, Kupp can kind of put it back together again after like losing almost, I think, 3 years because of injuries. But like, I don't think this is the year they take that big step. I think it'll be next year. Get another draft class in, make sure this team is packed with talent. And that defense will be raring to go to support the offense, right? Because I just don't think they have the offensive capability right now to make that big jump. And just this is my 2 cents. Sam Howell is a caretaker. I think Seattle burns a first rounder on a QB going into the draft next year, right? And Arizona's fucking Arizona. I don't understand how Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. haven't really developed a rapport yet. Maybe that changes this year. I hope so. But you still have James Conner in the backfield who, scores touchdowns, and he's a 1,000-yard guy. Maybe not the burner he was when he was a younger man, but he's still a good running back. I think the defense needs a lot of work there. Like, dude, it just seems like Arizona's in a constant state of rebuilding. And it seems like it's been that way since like Jake Plummer was there. And I'm not saying that to like dig the 4 Cardinals fans that there actually exist. I'm actually friends with one of them. But like, since Plummer left, like, it just seems like it's a series of head coaches and, well, maybe not since Plummer. I mean, they did go to the Super Bowl with Bruce Arians and Kurt Warner and Larry Fitzgerald. So shortly after that,
like 15 years ago, though, right?
Jesus Christ, we're showing our age, because I was like, that was just a few years ago.
Was that 2010?
Yeah, it's just the gray in my beard just lets me know this is how many years ago that Super Bowl was.
When did the Cardinals go to the Super Bowl?
But like, it's just a series of head coaches with a series of quarterbacks with a series of bad first-round draft picks. And then the next administration comes in. It's like, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to fix it. And it's the same shit all over again, So like, I just honestly, I think the best thing for the Cardinals would be for the Bidwells to finally just sell the fucking team.
Not going to happen.
Yo, never. Because how the Bidwells fund their True Passion Project, which is a EPL team, through the guaranteed revenue of their NFL team. Do
you think, back to Kyler Murray, do you think this is the end for him?
What would you replace him with, man?
That's what I always say when people talk shit about Kyler Murray. I always say, well, who's better?
Yeah.
Who's coming out right now that you think can do a better job than this dude?
And that's the thing. 1 second.
You looking up what EPL team they own?
Yeah.
While Mac's looking that up.
But
Oh,
they don't. I am incorrect, everybody. I thought they were one of the NFL owners that took the leap into the EPL. So I was wrong. I probably got it mixed up with the Glazers. I apologize, Newry. It's been a day. I've been up since like 4 a.m.
This is what happens to the Cardinals every year.
Oh, every single year, man. I mean, it's pretty fucked up, but
every year the Cardinals are put into this.
Yeah, and the thing is, the Cardinals also say the caption too, bro told me to pull up to fight night, and this is what happens. What? Nuri, I honestly got it mixed up with the Glazers. That's my bad. But yeah, like it's just like the Bidwells need to. The only way things are really going to change in that franchise is if the Bidwells are no longer involved, because the Bidwells don't spend, they don't sign free agents, and what do we see that a lot of their best players do? They play out their contracts and go elsewhere, right? Like it's not a good. It's not a good process if you're a fan. And I know there's more than 4 Arizona Cardinals fans, but there's not a lot of you. So get off my ass. All right. What division's next?
Just wow. Does one get into this position in a fight?
They were actually fucking first. And the person on the bottom said something that pissed off the person on top. He's like, "Oh yeah?" He just reached back and,
I don't understand what you were fighting over, how you were fighting, how the NFC East is a bit of a shakeup now because Micah Parsons is gone in Dallas. Can Dak Prescott and it's now a lesser defense help the Dallas Cowboys even get to the playoffs? The Philadelphia Eagles look prime to repeat.
Yeah.
And the Giants, who will we see with the New York Giants? There's some quarterback changes there.
Yeah.
The Washington Commanders are a team that looked very exciting. Can they build on that, or will we see the quote-unquote sophomore slump from Jaden Daniels?
I'll start with Washington. I think they're probably the best set up to allow Jaden Daniels to navigate the sophomore slump, right? Like not kind of fall off the way that CJ did. But there's enough weapons in Washington. The line is good enough in Washington where he may hit that sophomore wall, but they'll still be able to win games, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not all on him, You got Terry McLaurin, Debo. Yes. They got a pretty good tight end. They've got a good committee of running backs, and that offensive line is pretty stout.
Is Zach Ertz still there?
I believe so. I could be wrong. So if anybody wants to fix it, but
we'll find out.
Let me know. Just let me know. They're not going to topple the Eagles this year, right? They're not going to do that. But a wild card, definitely. I mean, look at the run they made last year. I think this is a good plan team. Like the front office had a plan. I think Jaden Daniels is the type of quarterback you need coming off of you're wandering for 40 years in the desert looking for the next quarterback. That's going to be good. But I mean, this is Philly's division. Howie Roseman, if he doesn't win NFL executive of the quarter century, I don't know who does, because he always seems to get a first round player that he shouldn't. That becomes a phenomenal piece for this team. Philly's defense is stout. We can talk about their offense all day, but I mean, we know what you're going to get with them, especially now that Saquon's there, right? Look at what they did with Saquon. It was nuts.
That was nuts. And
you got to think, Hurts looked comfortable as shit.
Yes.
All year last year. It's like the expectations were lifted off his shoulders, and Saquon's like, bitch, I got this, and now watch what I do. Right? Now, I think it'll go Philly and Washington, 1 and 2, both getting playoff berths, right? Then you look at the Cowboys, who I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. This might have been one of the fucking worst trades of my lifetime. You don't send out a a pass rusher of his caliber who has averaged 14 sacks a year. Like, you don't, and everybody's like, well, they got 2 first-round picks back, and Jerry Jones doesn't know how to fucking draft. So, like, why would you want picks where you're just going to get the second coming of, like, Kyler or Van Den Esch, that middle linebacker who wore that, like, the neck brace, like he was like one of the last guys to do it, who was a ridiculous liability in pass coverage, and could barely stop the run. It's, you know, but when you look at the offensive side in Dallas, yeah, Dak's coming back, but is that really the dude that's going to get him over the hump? No. I mean, I think Dak has shown that when there was a lot more talent on this team.
But they got rid of Joe, but they pick up Joe Milton. Yeah. Was that to pressure the quote unquote competition? You always hear people talk about competition. It's never really that simple. I watched a really interesting interview with Steve Walsh. Remember Steve Walsh played for the Cowboys? He got drafted in the supplemental draft the same year they got traded.
Did he play for the Rams too?
He played for a ton of teams.
Yeah,
man.
I was gonna say he was a traveler.
He was a traveler. The whole thing was Jimmy Johnson trusted him, and Jimmy Johnson was like, "Look, dude, Troy Aikman is the dude. I'm bringing you in because you know the system. You can help him along the way, and get some good film on you, and we can trade you." So Coach Look says opens window again. Oh, Jason.
Yeah. Welcome. Yeah. Kush, you came into the show at a really weird time. You really did.
This is like a new look. Whenever I put these images on the screen, more people just start tuning in. I don't know why.
So Steve Walsh, right?
Yeah. So I don't think Joe Milton is that same guy. In preseason, he looked but we saw him during the regular season last year.
The thing is, Milton, we saw this in college.
Oof.
He could take a knee and throw the ball 80 yards.
Yeah.
Ask him to hit a 7-yard slant, and he can't.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is a guy who just puts everything into a throw that he can. Into every throw, right? Like, and the thing is, that's not how you have sustained success in the NFL. You've got to know when to, take a little off and float it in there. You got to know when to put some, ass into it to get the ball there. Right? There we go. All that ass, right? That's Joe Milton throwing the football.
Yes, this is totally Joe.
Yeah, right. That's Joe Milton throwing a football. But,
look, a new person. Ash Owen, welcome.
Yeah, today. So
I'm telling you,
the Cowboys, I don't think are going to be as bad as the Giants, and here's the why. Okay, the Giants. I don't know what Brian Daboll's thinking. Right, I thought Jackson Dart looked pretty good in preseason. Okay, I'm not saying that because of that performance he deserved a starting bid. But you know what you're getting with Russell Wilson at this point, right? He can't make those throws anymore. You're going to waste the year of Malik Neighbors. You've got a pretty good tight end in Evan Ingram. Like, why do you go into a season saying, yeah, Russell Wilson's my guy? Right? I don't understand why Mike Tomlin stuck with him last year when he came back from injury, It makes no sense to me because Wilson started off hot, but what happened, Jason? He fell off a fucking cliff.
He's still not that old. He can still throw. He throws still one of the prettiest deep balls, but his game, I don't know if he can still be the scrambling guy.
Well, it's not even that. He can't make all the throws that he used to, right? A lot of his game in Seattle was predicated off him breaking the pocket and throwing on the run. He can't do that anymore, right? He cannot fucking do that. And Ash, I agree 100%. The Giants fucked up giving Danny Dimes that big contract, and then essentially let Saquon walk for nothing. Virtuoso beyond the third trap will be the new show on Wednesday. Yeah. I mean, if it gets 100 people here, We can put some beautiful women on screen while Jason and I talk sports. That's fine. Really tapping into that 18 to 25 demographic.
Yeah. Really trying to drive up the viewership with these
images. But even think if Dayball just gets tired of Wilson's shenanigans and you put in Jackson Dart, you're going to still be dealing with a rookie QB, right? Who's going to make rookie QB mistakes. So you're not,
my God, yes.
Yeah, you're not going to have a very successful season, not with a team that bad.
No.
Right? But allowing Dart to form that connection with Neighbors is going to be of utmost importance if Dart's your guy going forward, So let him play. If you already know you're going to be bad, let the kids play, Like, why the fuck not? Experience is a great teacher, Honestly, Brian Daboll should have went into this season like, I am coaching for my my job right now. And I don't think he did, so I'm like, this is going to be another, I really believe, doormat season for the Giants. And it doesn't help they play in the same division as Washington and Philly because you're playing the juggernaut of the NFC and like maybe the future juggernaut of the NFC twice a year, every year, and that's no fun. That's not where you want to be in life, man. In the words of my great aunt Peggy, who's a nun, that's not what you want to be doing when Jesus comes back. You don't want to be the Giants playing the Commanders or the Eagles when Jesus comes back,
No, I want the Commanders to really have a breakout second season and kind of shock the NFC East. But the Eagles right now are a wall, and I don't know who is coming out of there.
I mean, the thing is, if you can frustrate Hurts and put the entire offensive onus onto Saquon, you've got a chance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Abdul Carter could virtuoso. I really believe so. I think he's a phenomenally talented player. But I think we have a lot of good rookies this year. I really do believe so.
A lot of good rookies this year.
So I think the rookie of the year runs are going to come down to honestly week 17.
You know what? Let's just see. Let's let it play out. I'm not the biggest fan of individual awards. Let's talk a little NFC North. This is the division that I think is the most intriguing outside of the AFC West.
Yeah.
Detroit Lions are coming off 15-2. Is that last year?
Mm-hmm.
They have legitimate Super Bowl aspirations. That team only looks better to me.
Yeah, especially with Hutchinson coming back.
With a healthy Hutchinson.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what they do. The Green Bay Packers are much improved with Micah Parsons, but we'll see how much improved they are.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings, I think, are the ones that they're going through a rebuild.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. When you look at the North, this is Detroit's division right now, right? I'm just tired, Drea. I got called into work. I woke up at 5 to go to the gym, and then my boss called me like an hour into my lift and was like, "Hey, you got to come to work," because we had an audit, didn't do well on it, so they were interviewing everybody for hours before my shift started, and I didn't get home till about 30 minutes before we went on air. So like it's been a day. But yeah, I mean, Detroit, what Dan Campbell has done in Detroit is just wow.
I'm excited for Detroit.
Like when you look at the Matt Millen years to what they're doing now,
oof.
They're making smart personnel decisions. I think Dan Campbell was probably a surprise to get another crack at head coaching, right? Because he was an interim coach twice before and didn't exactly light the world on fire. But I think he was the right dude for that job because like Detroit was just seeped in this malaise. It was constantly, kicked around. It was the franchise was a doormat. And having someone come in, and we hear coaches say it all the time, we have to change the culture. Well, he actually fucking did that.
Mm-hmm.
And he put in players that maybe in other spots, other franchises, they weren't good there, but he gave them the space to play football, Jared Goff, right? Look at Brown. I think that is a phenomenal receiver, right? Coupled up with JMO, and then you have Jahmyr Gibbs, who is going to probably be one of the best running backs in the NFL this year. I really believe that. And their defense has only gotten better. I think they made a lot of progress under Aaron Glenn last year, who I wish him luck coaching the Jets. I wish you luck. You may have played there for that franchise, but you haven't coached there. So I definitely think it's Detroit's to win. I think Green Bay comes in second and gets a playoff berth. I think Green Bay's done a great job of drafting to fix their defensive deficiencies. I really like Jordan Love. Everybody gave him shit for letting Aaron Jones go to Minnesota, but then they replaced him with Jacobs, who had a phenomenal year.
Dude, Jacobs looked so young.
Yeah.
I felt like he ran better in Green Bay than he ran even in Oakland.
I mean, it's not hard to look better running the ball when you actually have people in front blocking for you. It's nice, that to know you're not going to have to shrug off your first hit 2 yards into the backfield.
That's the thing, dude. Detroit to me looks to be the team to beat. I'm with you. I think Green Bay number 2. I'm not sold on JJ McCarthy. We'll see. JJ McCarthy, more so than Anthony Richardson, might be the big bust in the draft. I mean, because let me say this, and I'll shut the fuck up. So much was put on Sam Darnold being this huge bust, and Sam Darnold comes out and just plays lights out. We don't know how he's going to look in Seattle, but we saw him in the preseason. He's looked pretty good in the preseason. JJ McCarthy, has he ever wowed you in anything he's ever done?
No, he was a caretaker in Michigan. That's why I was shocked when he was taken that high in the first round. But yeah, you know what I really think ultimately doomed Sam Darnold in Minnesota was that last regular season game in the playoff game.
They needed a win.
Yeah. And it's like he reverted back to.
I thought the game plan was trash.
I mean, yeah. I've said it before about Kevin Stefanski, but I think Kevin O'Connell is the same way. He's the smartest guy in the room, so he has to outthink even himself, rather than just keeping it very simple. Which, when you look at Baker getting the Browns to the playoffs, what was their bread and butter? It was literally running the football, right? And then letting Baker work off play action. Well, Stefanski decided, we got Deshaun Watson now. We're just going to go to a straight kind of airing out system, and it hasn't worked, but it's just, when you're he's essentially a rookie because, he didn't play at all last year.
At all. Yeah, poor guy got hurt in preseason.
Yeah. So that's the great unknown, right? Minnesota's got, Justin Jefferson, who is one of the best receivers in the NFL.
Yes.
Adam Thielen's going to come back and play the slot, which I think is great. Aaron Jones is still a good running back. The offensive line's good. It could use some improvement. But, Minnesota still has some pieces. It's just, how does JJ McCarthy fit into it? That's what we don't know. I would still put them over Chicago for right now.
They have the talent. We have to be honest. Even if JJ McCarthy is mediocre, they still have so much talent. Chicago is just a sad train wreck that has this young guy that is the ire of sports pundits. And I don't know why, because there's nothing he does, in my opinion, that is zesty, as the young kids say. Painting your nails is not, it hasn't been a big deal for like 20 years.
I mean, I would even go further than that, because I'll be 44, and in high school, dudes were painting their nails, and we were all just like,
There's nothing he does that, to me, that's a big deal. He doesn't dress super insane. His hair isn't goofy colors.
Yeah.
He's very professional whenever there's a microphone in front of him.
I mean, here's the thing. What I said about Campbell being the right guy for Detroit, I think Ben Johnson might be the right guy for Chicago. Right? Hey, Zahir, he's only a cuck when Jason's around his wife. Okay? That's when he's a cuck. Other times, he's just a hood-wearing clan member.
Damn, poor Sam Darnold, dude.
With his flat-ass wife.
Poor man.
But Ben Johnson, look how Goff became Jared Goff when he got to Detroit and was working with Ben Johnson, right? I think maybe not this season because, this is yet another offensive coordinator, yet another system that Caleb Williams has to learn. But this is a good system for him. This is a very good system for him, I think. And the thing is, Chicago spent the money to get the offensive line upgraded. They still have some weapons on the outside. I really like Adunze. So, that's another young wideout that could.
I think he showed some flashes. Adunze showed some flashes last year.
Yeah, and then you got Williams, or the dude they brought in from Carolina last year.
DJ Moore?
Yeah, Moore. Yeah. Thank you. Or maybe it was 2 years ago. I can't remember off the top of my head. But you have two wideouts like that. That's going to make Williams' life exponentially easier, right? So not this year. I think you see a big step up in year 2 of Ben Johnson coaching the Chicago Bears, right? The thing is, God damn it, Drea. God damn it, Drea. She's dying. Someone help her up. But the Bears need a winner, Jason, because they're getting ready to move to the burbs to a new stadium.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to go, 5-12 going into the new house. It's just they want to build that winner. So, they have a reason to get fans to leave Chicago, go out to the suburbs and watch the Bears. So, the North. If Minnesota has any kind of offensive presence, the North could easily put 3 teams in the playoffs. Easily. Right?
Easily.
With Chicago being left out.
I think Chicago can surprise. I'm
not saying they can't, Jason, but
it's a lot of hope.
They're not going to surprise enough to get in the playoffs this year. I think they're going to be a spoiler team towards the end. But yeah. I just don't think they have it this season.
It's a tough dude. Getting out of the North right now went from being Aaron Rodgers' cakewalk to maybe the toughest division in football.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was kind of a quick turnaround. It was like, oh man, the North is just the Vikings. The Packers keep drafting all these wide receivers with weird names. Rodgers does, he's going on silence retreats and not answering his phone, it just, but the NFC North, man, easily probably the toughest division in football, and next year it could be the AFC West, it's a cycle of things. We all know that football works that way. And, it just, I would love to see the NFC North just be this slog where, all 4 of those teams are just competitive the entire season. Because I like watching Caleb Williams play football. I thought he got dealt a bad hand when he went to USC, expecting, Lincoln Riley to actually, recruit kids and keep him in Southern California. And turns out he plays behind this fucking American cheese offensive line and a non-existent defense, it just,
Well, let's close out with the NFC South, your favorite division, because you live in the NFC South.
Yeah, that's it. This might be the easiest division to win and arguably the worst division in football.
Before we go to that, hold on, we got to find a silly thing to play that I sent you. I sent you so many insane things.
You do, man. That's a megabyte. I mean, Kush, I would argue a megabutt is exponentially better than a magabutt.
Oof. Speak for yourself.
Jason's only into MAGA butts.
I'm here you go. I sent this to Mac waiting for him to say anything to me, and I just got radio silence.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Which one was this?
I just got radio.
Oh, my God, Jason.
I just got radio silence.
Dude, what am I going to say to this shit, man?
I was so offended.
You know, like... She's got Don King and a head scissors right now, you know?
Yeah, it's all natural. Stuart McGill says Jason gone down a special rabbit
Stuart,
hole.
It's been very special, let me tell you. Okay.
I have no problem. Someone says now this is hair metal.
I think Klaus just realizing something.
Everybody, it's taking everybody a while.
So,
Dr. Klaus said IG is getting this wrong.
Yeah, apparently. So the NFC South.
Wait.
No, I'm not waiting a minute. I'm not waiting a minute. I'm sidestepping this arm tackle. And
the Atlanta Falcons are loaded with talent, and I think they have one of the better young quarterbacks that doesn't get enough people talking about him. And I would say because they play in Atlanta, which is a smaller media market, but Michael Penix Jr. playing with his receiving core could really be an exciting team coming out of the South. The New Orleans Saints, there's a lot going on with them. They've just named their starter. I almost said Rhett Bomar. That's how old I am. It's the light-skinned fella that looks like Patrick Mahomes from Temu.
Is that Show or the other kid, Spencer Rattler?
Spencer Rattler, thank you. Spencer Rattler has been named as
Temu Patrick Mahomes. When hey, customer service, yeah, I ordered Patrick Mahomes, but I got Spencer Rattler.
Hey, my Patrick Mahomes is like 4 inches shorter.
Hey, I saw him play last year. It wasn't good.
I thought the quarterback battle should have been between Hainer and Rattler because Show hasn't shown me much.
Well,
next week.
This is what kills me about the Saints. I don't know how they get away with chronically being $70-80 million over the cap. And, you know, fans, I mean, you remember when we were younger, you know, they showed up to the Dome with bags on their fucking heads. Why aren't they doing that now? Because being that far over the cap for nothing, essentially, like they are capped out of their minds and have no ability to bring in other players. You know, so like, and someone said it looks like the Saints are back to the Aints. That's the way it looks to me. Like this is not a good team. And can you imagine Archie Manning when Arch comes out and the Saints have like the number 1 pick and they're like, ooh, he's going to come to us. And he just calls him up. He's like, listen, man, I know I'll play for you for a lot of years. My grandson ain't coming down there throwing a football, you know?
I like the way you make him talk. My grandson ain't going to throw it on football.
Yeah, you know? But like the Saints are a dumpster fire that can't get better because of their cap situation. And then you have a team like the Panthers who are bad, but have made really smart draft picks and they're kind of starting to crawl out of it. Canales is a phenomenal coach. Bryce Young made a lot of big strides last year at the end of the year. You know, I think, you know, Bryce Young takes a big step up in becoming you know, an NFL quarterback. You know, he's got some people to throw to now. I think Chuba Hubbard is going to be the next good running back.
Yes.
You know, their offensive line's better. It still needs improvement. Still needs some work on the defense. But like the Panthers are in a good spot to get better and maybe go out and get maybe at the end of the season, Trey Hendrickson wants to enjoy nicer weather than Cincinnati, Ohio. They have the ability to do that, where the Saints don't have the ability to do shit. And then, but when you look at the top two in that division, Atlanta has all the pieces. At this point, it's a coaching issue, right? You're not kidding, McRubs. You are not kidding. When does the coach look at, okay, I got Kyle Pitts, I've got Michael Penix, we got Bijan Robinson, we got Drake London, we've got all this talent. I still need more. I need more. I need more. We're not going to get over the hump without more. Like, when is enough? Because if they can just get that talent to gel, like, coaching, the Falcons are going to be really good. Now, when you look at the Buccaneers, who I think are going to win this division, right? Baker Mayfield's really stepped up.
Yeah.
He's got what is going to go down as one of the best wide receivers in history, and Michael Evans.
Yes.
To throw to. Godwin's going to come back off injury. They got my boy Emeka Ibuka, who is going to be phenomenal in that offense. If the biggest drawback I really think for the Bucs is the run game. They've got to really step that up, I think, to take some of the pressure off, Mayfield, and especially as you get towards later in the season to keep him fresh, right? The defense, I think, is very good. And again, they're playing the NFC South, so they get 6 games against teams that, even Atlanta with all that talent has shown to be kind of offensively anemic at times, which I don't understand. What the fuck? Jason Miles. That one just threw me.
Do you read the caption?
Yes, that's what threw me. That oh my gosh. Nice Kush.
Dr. Clausen is Victor Cruz. Oh shit!
Mr. Crash said can confirm as a customer of T-Mobile. All right.
Too zesty, too furious.
Jesus Christ! You guys, Chad is on top of the game today. They really are. But yeah, I think that's the Buccaneers division. It's just it's a smarter team, or smartly put together team. I think Mayfield's hit a stride, and then you keep giving him offensive weapons to work with. It's only going to make him better, right? So, does that mean he's going to get dark money from a third way centrist pack? Jesus Christ, Paul! Wow. But here's the quick and nitty gritty, guys. The NFL season's long. I really think the next year or two it's going to get longer. I think they'll move to 18 regular season games and just do 2 preseason games. But anything can happen. But I really think we see a repeat of the Super Bowl last year. I think we see Philly and Kansas City back in the Super Bowl, because those are the 2 best run teams in the league. They continue to surround their stars with talent and just keep reloading rather than rebuilding. And eventually that comes to an end where you just got to put the whole, thing to bed and rebuild. But, as long as Andy Reid's still in Kansas City and Howie Rose, and Howie's in Philly, they can keep this up forever, man. So like we're probably going to see a lot of Kansas City and Philly in the fucking Super Bowl for the next probably 5 or 6 years.
What would you do if the Panthers won the division?
I would apologize to every Panthers fan I made fun of. Because here's the thing. The Panthers got spoiled. You know, you remember their first year, they went 7-9, and their second year, they're in the NFC Championship game. But I always had, like, I always made fun of Panthers fans because I'm like, when they're winning, you're out there in all your Panthers gear. But when they're losing, you go into the back of your closet and pull out your Commanders or your Falcons jerseys. And they're like, man, fuck you. Ugh. You know, because I'm not making it up. I've seen it, you know, but you know, the Panthers are still a few years away. I think they still have too much work to do in the trenches to make deep runs right now. You know, and that's all right. You know, they finally, you know, have a head coach that's invested in the long term, you know, rather than just running out, grabbing a free agent, plugging him in, and it's not working because that player doesn't fit the system that you're running, you know? So it's football's better when you have smart people making smart decisions. Otherwise you get the Saints, who for the last 25 years have been $70 million over the cap. And you're like, who are you paying, dude? Who in the fuck are you paying? Because none of these guys can play. You know, it's nuts to me. What are you?
Let me turn the sound up.
I don't want to know what he's. I don't want to know.
Coach Look says Mac looks different. I think you want to know.
No.
I am your king.
Who's your fucking queen? Tell the world who
The king.
Tell the fucking world who did you just fart? Bitch. I'm the farter, not you. Who's your fucking
So some drunken English dude decided to take a vacation to somewhere in Africa. And comes back spouting his monarchist nonsense. Rips ass. And she's like, how dare you? How dare you fart? I'm the farter. Oh my God, Jason.
Somebody said Joe Gibbs has jungle fever. Joe Gibbs is dead, by the way.
Well, Virtuoso, obviously, he had Doug Williams play quarterback. Jason's upset about that to this day.
Oh.
Jason really believes if you say Doug Williams' name 3 times, staring in a mirror, he just magically appears behind you.
Hello.
Did you know I was a head coach at Grambling? It's my alma mater.
Small world.
Jason just turns around. Fuck you, Doug Williams.
Mac. What is this? I don't know. I don't even know what this is that I sent you.
Well,
I think I sent this to myself.
This will be the last one because I'm going to bed.
Oh man.
Dude, I'm tired. I'm exhausted.
I think the last one.
This right here. Right here. This.
This is what you have to do at your job.
I mean, dude, can you imagine being the dude in the picture though? He's like, that shit's all over the internet now. Like, I can't.
All over the internet. That is legitimately kind of genius to take the picture when you
It
jump on the
is.
box.
It is. Someone also asked, does anyone remember when Jason thought Mark Rippon was native.
Yeah, I remember.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
For like 30 years.
Jason still secretly thinks he's native.
I'm like, he hasn't proved me wrong yet. Oh, he's Polish schmolish. I see a fucking native. I know when I see a native.
Jason brings out a Photoshop picture with Mark Rippon with a headdress on. Look, there's photographic evidence. You just made that, dude. No, I didn't.
I can tell it's AI. Look at his hand. It's got 15 fingers.
That's how he threw the football so well, okay?
Can you throw a spiral like Mr. Rippon?
Can you throw a spiral like Chief Rippon?
See, look, Nuri goes, wait, Rippon wasn't Native American? Was he from some Polish tribe or something? The Polish tribe? We're getting more racist every time.
Isn't that just called? Isn't that just Poland?
Every time I try to crawl out of the hole, I just fall into more racism.
Jason just keeps collapsing the hole he's dug for himself. Bad lefty standing 16 toes down on that opinion. It's not even just your feet anymore. It's like your son's feet too. Dude. Come on, boy. Phoenix, you know what to say. Mark Rippon was native. That's right. That is right, son.
Poles that crossed the Bering Strait. McRubs, you know what I'm talking about, dude. Mark Rippon is a native indigenous Polish man.
Polish man. There you go.
He's the first. Oh, whatever I say, I feel like someone's gonna be like, I used to like your show before you're so racist.
Virtuoso said his Native American name was Spiral Hawk. What the fuck is wrong with us, man?
Rippon was from the Polish Shantas tribe. Oh my god. Indigenous Polish people. I don't know what is a more cancelable offense. The images I put on stream.
Well, obviously, we had an uptick in viewership, so you were driving traffic here.
Oh, dude, I don't know what it is. It's like, there's tits on this stream.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want us to. I'm just here for dick jokes and racism. Nice, lefty.
Jesus. Jesus.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be funny when fucking Hassan's on stream tomorrow, and he's like, "Did you guys hear about those two racist assholes talking about sports?"
Or he takes our shtick and just puts pictures up while he talks about himself.
Yeah. Yeah, you see this girl right here? I fucked her. So, oh, nice, Hassan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, Joe Rogan to the left. All right.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Mac, go get some rest. Thank you. Look, everyone, give Mac a fucking massive round of applause. He held it together. This was the Mac show tonight. He held it. More rounds of applause. While insanity was going on all around him.
That's what a pro does. That's what a pro does.
Tomorrow night, football starts. But if you don't want to watch football, which would be odd, being that this is a sports show about football, Ben Burgess and I will basically be talking to 4 people who got stuffed in lockers their whole lives. About people that get stuffed in lockers that shit on other people that didn't get stuffed all the way in.
Wow. That's a weird topic for a show. Like, it's gonna be funny. Ben's gonna be there, just like locked in, just ready to go. He's probably got questions prepped. And there's Jason. So, what made you a fucking nerd in high school? Was it D&D? Did you rollerblade to class? Damn. Is that what you did?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! That's the meanest shit I've ever heard someone say. I'd rather be called the N-word.
Jason's like, there's only one thing you can call me worse than the N-word. Someone just comes out from the back, rollerblader.
I was like, eh.
All right, James Scott, before I go, I think the Crawford-Canelo fight's actually going to be phenomenal. I'm actually going to watch it because I love Crawford and I love Canelo. So in this fight, it's going to be if Canelo can work past Bud's jab. If he can and get inside, I think Bud's going to have a bad night because Canelo is a devastating body puncher. But if Bud could keep him at distance and just work combos, if you are a boxing fan and have watched Bud Crawford, you know he makes a living doing that and he could erase you quicker than shit. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a really good contrast in fighting styles. And I would like to see more of this, even under the auspices of the Riyadh season nonsense. You all know how I feel about that shit. I'm not happy about it. But I get to watch two of the best fighters on the planet in a ring rather than having to hear about a cruiserweight Jake Paul fighting a fucking lightweight Tank. Fuck, I forgot his last name. Tank Davis. So yeah, it's just, you know, I would rather have real fights with actual real outcomes rather than this. I call them circus fights because that's what they are, rather than having to deal with circus fights all the fucking time. So hopefully we get to see more stars in the ring against each other.
They said you were professional and gentleman.
Well, I thank all of you. You make this fun. You make it worthwhile. You make Jason and I laugh. I love the interaction. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a sucker for Milena Vaintrub. So that's a good way to
name. Was she AT&T?
AT&T, yeah.
No, whatever
AT&T.
she was, it doesn't matter. Get the service.
Yep. I mean, I would buy her old shoes if she was just like, would you like them? Yes, Milena, I would. Thank you.
I feel like everybody watching was like, this is ridiculous.
Oh, they most certainly did.
James Scott, welcome to the show. I've never, have you seen that name before?
But he did ask the boxing question, and I thought I gave a pretty quick and nuanced answer. I think it's going to be great. So, Drea, don't judge me. Don't judge me. What would I do with them, Nuri? I would put them in an airtight box and display them.
Oof.
That's what I would do. So,
well, yeah,
but I love you guys.
Yep. Have a
You're
good night.
phenomenal. Tell your friends, bring them on in, even if they don't like sports. You know, we kept it pretty sports centric today with
It was pretty sports centric,
with the exception of the ocular assault that Jason kept trying to throw at me, but I sidestepped it. A juke,
like a
stiff-armed.
fucking pro, dude.
That's right, man. See,
you handled it so well.
When the chips are down, your boy Mac will come through.
I do want to ask you this one. Can I just please one last thing?
All right, one last one. Last one.
There's a thing in the podcast world for those podcasts that actually make money and they have all the sponsorships and shit. And
wait, there's podcasts that make money? What?
Oh, that's so much.
Wow.
Insane amounts.
Can they buy name brand cereal with this money they make?
They get a name brand cereal sponsorships, dude.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you imagine Beyond the Red Zone brought to you by Frosted Mini Wheats? Are you looking for a healthy snack that's just a little bit sweet? When Jason and I want that, we bring out our Frosted Mini Wheats.
I would lose all of my mind.
The first time they contact us for like, we have to cut the promos. They're like, guys, you can stop laughing and looking like idiots now. We're just like, but you're sponsoring us.
I would totally lose my shit. So if I got a Golden Grams. Golden Grams is my favorite cereal. Mm-hmm. It's sweet, but not too much. You can eat it without milk.
Reclaimed in Zahir, it was just like the first cereal that popped in my mind. I really don't eat it. I don't really eat cereal much anymore. It's all about protein intake, lean protein, and rice for me right now.
Real talk. I was trying to get a Magic Spoon sponsorship until I found out how much it costs. And I was like, there's no way in the world I can ask people to pay this much for a monthly cereal thing.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
It's fucking nuts, dude. It really is. Okay, so why is there a Kardashian on my
This is
screen?
not a Kardashian. That is a regular woman. That's a fucking Gomez.
Okay.
That is not a Kardashian.
Looks like a Kardashian.
This woman does that thing that they do in podcast language where they say something and they reverse it, and then it's like the deepest thing ever. And I want you to go to work with this playing, because everyone you work with in sales listens to people that talk like this, and this is going to help you talk to those people better. Just reverse a colloquialism and they're going to think you're fucking Yoda.
I've heard that from a friend of mine. He said, don't love your job your love. So don't
I love that.
Yeah. And when he said that to me, that hit me. And I was like, my business is me jobbing my love. I've heard that from a friend of mine. He said,
I'm with those three individuals that are like, what? I will not job my love. And I will not love my job either. Because when I have affection for somebody, it's not work to do it. You know, it's not an effort, really. I just enjoy that person. Like, Jason, I love you, bro.
I love you, Mac.
You know, it's easy. I mean, sometimes it's maddening when I look at my phone and there's 38 new messages from Jason Miles, but that's part and parcel what comes with being pals with Jason, with him being my boy. And I accept him for that. I also accept him for his love of long butts, for his love of raisins, for his love of foo-foo coffee and 7-Eleven chorizos that eventually run right through him. Literally, not metaphorically.
Literally.
So,
job your love.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just going to run around saying that tomorrow at work and see what people say.
Kushlik said, normalize lies. Normal lies.
Yep.
That's how you have to talk to those people. So when you go to work tomorrow, you should say this and see what happens. Be like, you know what, guys? I love my job, but I realized it was too much. I was having stress. I was having physical ailments. I had to job my love.
Yeah, I had to job my love.
And
Reclaimed brought this one out to end the show with perfectly. I job my love all over your face.
Thank you very much, Mac. Have a good night.
Love you guys
were great. We are out.